Hello all and welcome to video classes by Konnur Institutes. Today we are going to discuss on the topic classification of data. So in the previous class we have seen how raw data looks like and what are we going to do with that raw data, right? So when we are talking about this chapter, it's all about organizing of data. So we have raw data from which we have from where we have collected this data is by conducting the questionnaire or by conducting the survey or maybe by conducting an interview, right? So when you have collected this raw data in your hand, what are you going to do with this raw data? Next step is that you have to classify that raw data according to your subject or maybe according to the topic you are focusing on. For example, when we are discussing about the marks of the students that they have scored in a different subjects. Let's say, for example, I want to understand that how is the structure of my class, that what is the students scoring in the subject mathematics. I want to study how students are scoring in mathematics. Maybe it's not exactly just the subject of one exam. Okay, I can even study on each and every exam which is conducted monthly or weekly or maybe class wise or maybe according to how they are going to understand the subject. Let's say this is what I am going to understand or the study. Now my sample is 50 students. These 50 students I have raw data of mathematics here. So this data shows me that the marks of students in which they have scored marks. Okay, let's say 0, 25, 50, 36, 32, 43, 37, 18, 15, 8, 19, like this. Now this is the data of 50 students. Okay, this data, with the help of this raw data, can you be able to conclude? Can you come to a conclusion? No, right? It's quite difficult because this data is quite confusing because we have not classified that data. So that's the reason we have to classify the data. How are we going to classify? There are two methods. One is quantitative, second is qualitative. Quantitative is the data wherein we have numbers, years, so that we classify them according, maybe in the ascending order or maybe in the descending order. Okay, so either this data can be arranged from 1 to 100 because the max marks scored in mathematics subject is 100 and the least is the 0. So I can arrange in this order or maybe I can even arrange this in from 100 to the decreasing order 0. Or else what I can do, I can even arrange this according to what kind of topic I am choosing here or which is my subject. On that I am going to understand. If I am just focusing on the students who have scored less than 35 marks, then I may not need the data with those of which who have scored above 35, right? Or if I am just focusing on the data which is from 90 to 100, the students who have scored in between 90 to 100, then I don't need the data which is less than this 90, right? So this raw data you have collected, but when you look into the subject matter or the topic or on which project you are studying and what is you are focusing on, only that data can be consumed or that data can be captured. So this data can be either arranged in ascending order, okay, or this can be arranged also in descending order. And when you have time series, what is this time series? Time series is nothing but years, weeks, days, right? So when you have data in this type, we call them as a time series. So even these data can be organized or classified in chronological order. So what is this chronological order? When we are talking about this chronological order, we say, I want to understand how is the admission pattern going on in respective school. So in 1990, it was somewhere around 50 students, and then in 2000, it has increased to 112. So go on like this, right? So now you are arranging them in the chronological order. So here it may be in 2020, it may have increased to 600. Okay, so this is just an example for how we are going to arrange the data when we have a time series. And even when we have the data, when you have organized your textbooks, for example, say in your home, you have organized your textbooks or notes, right? So when you have organized your textbooks, you can organize those textbooks like with the help of subject wise, you can arrange them, okay, or else you can arrange them publication wise, okay, or you can also arrange according to the author, right? You can also arrange according to the authors. So this is how we organize our data. So when you have organized subject wise, it's quite easy for us to go and pick that, right? When we are looking for any of the subjects. If you don't do that, then what we have to do? We have to check each and every book one by one. And then finally we may arrive, we may find it or we may not. Because if we haven't organized them, then there might be a chances of we losing that. So that's the reason we organize the data. So this is all about the quantitative. Then when we are talking about the qualitative. So what is this qualitative data? There are some kind of data which cannot be gathered in numbers. For example, the taste of food. I want to understand, or my topic of survey is I want to understand here how the food which is cooked in the mess or in the canteen is. So I want to understand that. So when I am taking this kind of topic, can you express this in numbers? Can I say that the chapati which they have prepared is okay 4? Can I express like this in the number? No, right? So these kind of things comes under qualitative, wherein we are expressing in terms of quality or attributes or traits. So for even we have literacy here, okay, we have religion, we have so many things which come under qualitative. If you go on making the list, we even get to see when you are also studying how is the performance of a teacher in a class. Can you say okay 1, 2? No, right? You say better, best, good and all, right? Bad, very bad, not bad. So these kind of data comes under the qualitative. So this is how we are going to classify the data depending upon the nature of the data which we have collected. If it is in numbers, we look into ascending or whether we have to organize that in ascending order or whether we have to organize in the descending order. And when we have collected the data which has the traits or the qualities or the attributes in that, then we classify according to the qualitative data. So this is how we organize the data. In the next class, we will look into how these data is being studied more on. See you all in the next video class.